Greetings. My name is Maurice Simoff, and I am the president of the Jackson County, Michigan Historical Society. Today's local history showcase highlights the historic village of Stony Point.
3 miles southwest of Hanover, under a forlorn gorge covered with matted and twisted undergrowth, lies the ghost town of Stony Point. Other than a chorus of crickets in the summer and the screech of an owl at night, the bypass spot is mostly quiet. The sound of traffic does not disturb the peace. There are no tires humming, car horns honking, or pedestrians chatting in this abandoned section of land. But if the stones at this place could talk about their contributions to buildings all over the nation, and if the air could replay the sounds that reverberated within it when Stony Point thrived, what a story it would tell of a roaring settlement at the site of this former sandstone quarry between Strait and Grover Roads. This video, which includes photos of Stony Point as well as images of other quarries, is designed to bring Stony Point back to life, if only in our imaginations. According to some historians, the quarry existed as early as the 1830s, but it wasn't until the 1870s that production hit full stride, thanks to the railroad, which transported the stone far and wide. In fact, many workers were former railroad men who decided to work at the quarry after the railroad was built. But quarrymen also flocked to the pit from throughout Michigan and Ohio. Employment at the quarry averaged about 78 to 80 quarrymen and 30 stonecutters, but employment could swell to as many as 200 workers during peak times. Flat railroad cars would wind their way directly to the heart of the rock formation on special rail sidings, where cars were loaded with rocks freshly cut and chiseled by hand. The sandstone that men carved from the quarry was light buff colored and was used in school buildings, post offices, and other buildings throughout the Midwest. A few area buildings that contained cornerstones and door and window sills quarried from Stony Point include the Concord Cobblestone School, the Carlton Poorhouse in Hillsdale, and the Old State Prison at Jackson. The quarry itself bore the results of the extraction process in the jagged, chiseled indentations on its rocky surface, like claw marks on a sandstone chalkboard. As demand for this high-quality stone increased and more workers flocked to the quarry, the town of Stony Point was born. Soon, the town outstripped both Hanover and Horton in size and activity. The bustling settlement boasted a post office, 4 hotels, 2 stores, and several residences. The volume of business was so great that the railroad kept an entire engine and crew there at all times to make up trains and to switch cars. Local historians say that the town became known as a rough and ready place. Stories are told of whiskey bought by the gallon or jug. Many workers buried the brew in the woods surrounding the town to safeguard it from meddlers. Unfortunately, the various locations of these secret stashes were not always accurately remembered, and according to folklore, some remain buried to this day. Local historians also tell of the time mischievous quarrymen endeavored to build the world's largest firecracker. They took an extremely long piece of pipe, packed it with black powder, and lit the fuse. The resulting explosion was so forceful that it broke every window in the settlement. The explosion was heard for miles around, and soon wagons full of curious townsfolk arrive expecting to see bodies lying about due to a terrible accident. It was a joke that literally backfired, but it's remembered to this day in folklore. By the 1890s, most of the quarry's choice stone had been extracted. In fact, the operation of the quarry business with its teams of men, wagon, and horses had become expensive. For these and other reasons, use of the quarry decreased, and the pit was eventually abandoned. In 1905, the railroad sidetracking was removed, and the buildings that once dotted Stony Point disappeared. From that point on, Stony Point faded into the shadows of time. Today, remnants of its stone handiwork linger in carved museum pieces. Its presence also lingers on old plat maps and in the memories of local historians such as Ward Rearick, author of The Village of Stony Point, and Jeanette Weimer, a member of the Historical Society who suggested this video commemoration. And who knows, perhaps the woods surrounding the bypassed quarry also contain a few spirits. Spirits of fermentation, that is, in the form of buried whiskey jugs, that add to the allure and the mystery of the ghost town known as Stony Point.
Thank you for joining us for today's local history showcase highlighting the historic village of Stony Point. Be sure to like and share this video and join us for another.